Hello everyone, it's Dublin. How's it going? I hope everyone is doing well and that you've been treating yourself very nicely. So today I wasn't going to do a video on this bottle because I just recently did a Kistler and I was gassing it up really heavily because I've always had great experiences with Kistler. They've always been amazing bottles and I never vouch for something and push it unless I truly believe that it's a fantastic wine. Now this bottle is Hyde Vineyard. It is from Carneros, and we're going to discuss this one a little bit. First, we will do a little taste so you can kind of see where I'm coming from, why I decided to try this bottle out and introduce you to it. Yep. So I opened this up last night and I was like, blind taste, and never would have guessed a Kistler. Not a chance. Now it does, I'm not saying this is a terrible wine, but there is a distinct characteristic about this wine that you just don't see with Kistlers. And right away, it's just leaping from the glass is the heavily toasted oak. Kistler is always well balanced. I'm not saying they never have oak on their wine, because they do, but there's usually enough neutral to where it integrates well with the fruit flavors and all the complexity and just the fluffy yumminess that Kistler brings to the table. But this one is just like, right away, leaping out of the glass is just a heavy toasted oak. And when I say toasted oak, it's because you're starting to get some of that vanilla coming out of there. And there is a really strong vanilla scent. Now it's not just the nose, if it was just the nose and it had that perfectly balanced palate, I would have been like, definitely approve, totally endorse it. But let's give it a little sip, see if it's still there. Yes, there's definitely that oak. There are other things going on, but I'm just not used to a Kistler being that oak forward. And the only thing I can think of, this is a 2020, so it's still pretty young. It might integrate a bit more with a little bit of age, but still way more oak than I used to. The only thing I can think of, Hyde Vineyard, is Carneros. Carneros is in the southern end of Napa, between Sonoma, the southern end of Sonoma and the southern end of Napa. And what that area does is it's right by like where the bay and all that fog comes up from San Francisco. And it really is a cooler climate. You get some of that more Burgundian style type of Chardonnays and Pinots from out of there. I wouldn't say that they always make them in the Burgundian style itself, because Burgundy uses a lot of neutral oak. There, to me, is not very much neutral oak in this because of how forefront it is on the palate and the nose. Now there is that nice minerality that I do love out of Carneros. I've had plenty of Hyde Vineyards, which have beautiful balance, beautiful minerality, beautiful acidity, but man. If you could just turn that oak down a touch, you'd be getting some really nice lemony kind of custard and minerality, really great acidity, which you always get good acidity out of Carneros. You always get some of that minerality, some of that, that limestone kind of just earthiness that comes through, which is usually really pleasant, and it usually is Burgundian, where it has those nice appley, lemon, peely, type of notes with that, lemon kind of creams that come through. And the creaminess is usually some of that oak, and sometimes some places do that malolactic fermentation. Not these kind of places usually. Not anymore. You see less and less of that out of Sonoma and Napa. Yeah, I mean, seriously, Kistler, come on. You can do better than this. You can integrate, you can still have oak, whether you're having maybe it's a high acid year and they felt like they needed some of that oak to tame it down or something. I'm not a winemaker, I'm not sure. I'd love to know more about why they did this, but I'm gonna have to say, for the price point of what you pay for a Kistler Hyde single vineyard, I'm gonna have to say this one's pass. You know, maybe with some rosemary roasted chicken with like, you know, that like lemon kind of zest where you know, put it in butter, stuff it underneath the skin, give it a good roast with some rosemary. Maybe this would tie this wine together a bit more. I'm not sure, but you need something. You need some fat. You need something to cut through some of that oak. And maybe it's time. Maybe time it'll integrate. I'm not sure, but I'm gonna have to say for Dublin, I'm gonna pass on this one, and I'm not gonna recommend it. Now that is definitely a first for Kistler with me. I don't think I've ever passed on a Kistler, and I'm not saying I'm not gonna drink it. I'm not saying this is a terrible wine at all. I'm just saying that I would rate this one a lot lower than any other Kistler that I've ever rated. And it has a heck of a lot more oak than I'm ever used to out of the Kistler. It's usually, I mean, and it does have a nice consistency. I say, you know, these Grand Cru style, you know, self-anointed type of California wines and Chardonnays and these whites is, you know, they have that fluffiness, that great texture and whatnot. It's there, but it even has a little more viscosity. I just can't get past that oakiness that comes through. And with that acidity and high oak, it's just, man, I really feel like it should have been tamed down. So I just felt that I had to come forward since I was really gassing up Kistler in you know, my other video, and I planned on doing some others, you know, in the future as they age and see how they do. But when I see this on the allocation list, I'm probably not going to check that box. I hope they do better, and I hope that they learn a little more balance with their wines going forward with such an interesting region too. Carneros is really cool. I highly recommend going there. A lot of great wineries in that region. It's really beautiful. Like Domaine de Carneros, they do sparkling. That's a really fun place to go to. Awesome, huge deck, beautiful like stone type of like chateau style building. Very cool experience. Absolutely highly recommend it. Awesome, go for it. Enjoy. So I just wanted to steer you in the right direction in case you do decide to get a Kistler and you do see the 2020 Hyde Vineyard out of Carneros. I'm gonna say maybe look somewhere else. Definitely get a Kistler, go for it, but just maybe steer away from this one. So go out there, have some fun, get yourself a good bottle because you do deserve it. Just don't get this one. It's Dublin. Hope you learned something, enjoyed. Have a good one. Oh, and cheers.